The Tampa Bay Lightning, for a decent stretch in Game 4 versus Toronto, and especially afterwards, look absolutely defeated. And this is something that we have not seen out of the Tampa Bay Lightning thus far. 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, yet here they are on the ropes against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, what's most crazy about this is that the Lightning were in the driver's seat. They were up 4-1 in their home ice with more than 10 minutes to go in the third. They were almost halfway done with what was at that point likely to be the final period, yet choked it all completely, and you could see it in the body language. It was just an all-out attack from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you can see this rush started by Mitch Marner and Nylander, and a great connection to Matthews, just all-star passing. And the Leafs are back in it. And you can see from the reaction of Leafs fans, they're enjoying it, they're celebrating it, but they have no idea what's about to happen next. And the Leafs take advantage of a Lightning defense that's been decimated by injuries and decimated by just so much action. And you can see just the passing play. Everybody on the Lightning are stuck with nowhere to go, and they take advantage of it. Because right after this, it would be the big boys for the Leafs getting it done again. Marner, Matthews, and Nylander. Nylander connects to Matthews, and an absolutely beautiful tip makes it 4-3. And you can see Maple Leaf Square finally starting to get into it a little bit. Still cautiously optimistic, though. But Matthews, 2 goals in this game and coming through right when he needs to, finding some open space, but that tip was just absolutely nasty. Nylander, great feed, but Matthews getting it from midair. That's what he can be made of. I mean, seriously, look at this. That's insanity. Now, a huge face-off here, a 4:04 to go in the third, and Derek Lalonde was mentioning on the Sportsnet broadcast how for Tampa Bay, they completely restructured their defense because of Vasilevskiy having a little bit of an inefficiency with shots from the point. But Tavares wins that, and Ryan O'Reilly gets that win battle as well. Riley trying to connect there with Marner, and the puck ends up getting loose here absolutely perfectly. You can see in slow motion, the traffic in front. Riley takes advantage, and another sharp shooting moment from Morgan Riley, and Vasilevskiy just has no answer for him. You can see here again that winning battle. You get a lot of different plays along the boards, but some traffic in front of Vasilevskiy, and right there, Morgan Riley perfectly places it. It wasn't just a rinky-dink shot. Riley was absolutely pit-pocketing that corner, and Vasilevskiy can't see it. But the Leafs were putting on the shots on Vasilevskiy, so close there, that Marner opportunity. And they keep it going right in front there. Tavares, Ryan O'Reilly right in front for the second opportunity. He can't get it done. Entering the zone will be Nylander, Kerfoot coming in right from the corner, puts it back off the boards into Giordano, and then a little bit of a give and go. Nylander, Giordano, he finds some space. Giordano, the shot, Kerfoot, the tip, and it's 5-4 Toronto. The comeback is complete, and the Leafs lead the series 3-1. But look at that reaction by Andre Vasilevskiy. No juice left in the tank. The Leafs bring it right to him and are winners in Game 4. But this is not a normal Tampa Bay Lightning occurrence, and it's crazy to think about that because of the humongous choke just 4 years ago. But the Tampa Bay Lightning have completely turned their franchise around and have completely turned their reputation around. If anything, they're the team that comes back down from 4-1, not the other way around. But this type of defeat, this type of loss, not just in general, but on home ice, is something that we have not seen with this Lightning team in a very long time. And dare I say it, this Lightning team looks lost. They look defeated. I mean, obviously, Alex Killorn is not going to be jumping for joy after a game like this, but just look at the frustration. Look at what they've had to go through all these years. They've been through so many games, so many series wins. Yet right now, it feels like their situation is more dire than it has ever been. And talking about the uncharacteristic traits with Tampa Bay, usually they're the team that plays the best through all 60 minutes and has that effort through all 60 minutes. And you could say that the first 2 periods were dominant for Tampa Bay. Absolutely, that was the case. And even in a bit of that third period, it was solid for them. But in the most important moments, in the moments that they know are the most important, they absolutely choked. 10 minutes to go in the third. That's the type of lead the Leafs choke, not the Tampa Bay Lightning. And obviously, we've seen the miles, the amount of series this team has gone through. They're tired. They're brutalized by injuries right now. But even so, the culture with that team, the way they handled themselves with 10 minutes to go in the third, it's simply unlike them. But going back to my playoff predictions, I had the Leafs winning this series in 6, but even so, I didn't see the injuries that Tampa had to deal with. We didn't know how healthy they would end up being, but I just saw the Leafs overpowering them in different ways, and with the strength of that roster coming together in a big way for the first time in such a long time. But those injuries have definitely helped Toronto's end, and the fact that in these 2 games versus Tampa Bay, they haven't played their greatest. To me, that's a sign, though, that this Leafs team could be a little bit different in some ways. They might get outplayed through certain periods. They might get beaten down in some periods. But the fact is, they were able to win both games in Tampa Bay being outplayed. And those are the type of games that Stanley Cup winners win. Now, I'm not saying Toronto's going to win the Stanley Cup, but you have to win games that you're getting outplayed in, simply put. You're not going to outplay the opponent all 16 games. You're not going to go and sweep all these teams and go through them, run through them, and play amazing every single time. You're going to have games where the other team might deserve to win, but you still win in the end. And for Toronto, that's the type of gene they have not had in the past. Usually it's the other way around. Usually they'll look like the better team, but lose. And I guarantee you, the Leafs and Leafs fans would rather win and look bad, simply put. We talk time and time again about this Leafs team and that clutch gene and everything. I mean, you see Ryan O'Reilly, who's had such a prolific effect on this series, talking here, and you just saw that Morgan Rielly tying goal. Huge part of that goal, getting the play back on Toronto's possession, really fighting in those dirty areas. They've added players like that can have that clutch gene and can actually get it done in those right moments. And you are down 4-1 on the road with 10 minutes to go in the third, yet you're still able to come back. That's the type of game that teams that get past the first round win. And now is the time. Now is better than ever for the Leafs to actually get it done. And they have the perfect opportunity. Imagine going back to Game 5 in Toronto, and you have all those fans there ready to just erupt and cry and release all of that tension that's been there since 2004. You have to get it done in Game 5. And I'm tempted to say if the Leafs lose Game 5, then they might lose the series. But I have a little bit of a feeling that if they were to lose Game 5, go back to Tampa Bay, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get it done. And if they go back to Tampa Bay, sure, they've won 2 games in Tampa Bay, but it's a much different feeling, especially when you're trying to stave off a potential Game 7. They need to win in Game 5. They need to keep this momentum. And I think it will really show what Toronto is made of in this Game 5. Getting it done in front of the home crowd could be irreplaceable for them. But this is the thing, they can't keep getting outplayed like this. They can't keep letting these goals happen, especially late in the second period, making it 4-1 Tampa Bay. The Leafs got lucky, but the Leafs also played extraordinarily well to get that comeback. But they can't let that happen again. They need to outplay Tampa. Game 5 is the time to do it. Now, what's been most important, I think, to the Leafs' success so far has just been the humanity of Andrei Vasilevskiy. When we look at goalies that have played at least 3 games up to this point, he's last in save percentage with an .856 save percentage, last in goals against with 19, and last in goals saved above expected with a minus 5.51. Above the NHL average, above expected, Andrei Vasilevskiy has allowed 5.5 more than usual. And especially in a playoff series that's only 4 games old, that makes a humongous difference. And you saw in that blown lead against Toronto. Yes, there were a couple of goals that might not have been his fault, but you see how the Leafs, and specifically Morgan Rielly and specifically Mark Giordano as well, are targeting that shot from the point, targeting pressure in front, traffic in front, getting in Andrei Vasilevskiy's eyes. We've seen how when Vasilevskiy has all this traffic in front, he can't track these pucks from the point. It's a deficiency. It's something he's been beaten in time and time again. And specifically with Morgan Rielly's shot, the Leafs are doing everything in their power to maximize the potential of it. And then look at this quote from Andrei Vasilevskiy on what he can do to fight the Leafs screens better in this series. Buy myself some friggin' x-ray glasses. And you see just how much this is an issue. This is an issue that they already know about. Vasilevskiy needing to have that space in front, needing to have that vision in front to to truly be as effective as he can be. Obviously, it's not a revelation that more bodies in front is going to be harder for the goaltender. We already know that, but it's such a problem for Vasilevskiy that we're seeing it this time around. And that's what I was saying in the series predictions right before, is that Tampa's defense just isn't as good as it has been. And you, of course, add or subtract Erik Chernak, who is one of their best defensemen, if not their best. You put him off the lineup for all of this series, and it's just such a different squad. It's such a different defense. It doesn't mean they can't win, but it means that everything in that complete look has changed for them. And you have guys like Nick Perbix, Darren Radish playing way more minutes than they maybe should, even though I love Nick Perbix. So the Lightning are in a situation where they know what Vasilevskiy's deficiency is. They know what the problem is. They just don't have the men. They just don't have the guys to get it done. And you look at a player who was on the other side in the Leafs and a guy that was on Tampa like Luke Schenn, having that type of presence right now in Tampa would have been invaluable. But the Toronto Maple Leafs have him instead. But again, it's that frustration. It's just that look of defeat with Vasilevskiy in this quote saying obviously an expletive and just putting it in that tone. He knows how big of a problem this is, and you can sense the frustration on his defense with this as well. He knows that it hasn't been good, and he knows that it's been horrible in front of him. But you can get from the frustration that he also knows that that's not changing and that he needs to get better. He needs to buy some x-ray glasses. But the Leafs have done such a good job getting in front of the net, creating that havoc in front, and that's led to a lot more goal scoring. And if the Leafs are able to capitalize on that more in Game 5, which I assume they will, this could be a series that ends tomorrow. But let me know what you guys think about the Lightning right now. Are they defeated? Do you think the Leafs are going to wrap this series up? Or is it another Montreal Canadiens situation where the Leafs have a 3-1 lead and they can't get it done and the Lightning end up coming back? Let us know who you think wins this series down below. Of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more hockey breakdowns throughout the playoffs every single day, just like this. And of course, share the video with all the hockey, Leafs, and Lightning fans you guys know online, and click this card for all my playoff talk right in one playlist. My name is Nathan. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.